I was 17, I was homeless because my mom went a little bit nuts and lost the house. I was homeless. I had to like find jobs that would like suffice a living, like pay my car bill, pay everything. Like, worst part about this is I was not allowed to work during high school because literally my mom didn't want to drop me off at my job. She never had time. So I never learned financial literacy or like the value of $1. When my aunt started asking for $50 in rent, I was like, what do you mean $50 in rent? Like, that's my phone bill. Like, what the fuck? Now, babe, that's like nothing. Like, I literally wish I could pay $50 in rent now, but now I pay $1,500. So basically I ended up working at this barbecue joint that sucked so many balls, like literally sucked so many balls. It was this old man that owned it, and he literally only hired me because he said I was pretty and I'd bring in traffic. For being like, tell that to your wife, you fucking creep. Literally get out of my face. I literally worked with the most insufferable ass bitches at this job, other than my bestie Tegan, which was actually fun because I got to work with my best friend all the time, and like that was chill. Anyways, this one girl I worked with literally hated me because she found out I wore tampons on my period, and I'm just like, what the literally what? Anyways, while I'm working there, this girl's like making my life kind of like a living hell, and I went to a concert one night, and while I'm leaving in the back-to-back traffic that is when you exit a concert, like that's every time, look at the car ahead of me, and there's this girl that jumps out of the front seat and then starts pooping literally in front of all of the traffic, and I'm like, what is this girl doing? To my absolute dismay, that's my favorite word in the world, it's the girl that was making my life a living hell. I can't wear tampons, but you can poop in the middle of a concert outside with no toilet paper. I watched her pull her pants up without any toilet, just full on pulled her pants up. The people I was in the car with were literally cranks, so when I was like, that's my coworker pooping outside, they were just like, yeah, like that's cool. And I'm just like, no, like you don't get it. My coworker is pooping outside. I'm like watching her poop. Like a Gemini through and through, so if there's any physical way for me to stir the pot in any form or fashion, I am going to do it. The next time I saw her at work, she was really pissing me off, so I was like, did you have fun at the concert the other night? I feel like you might have had fun at I saw you when I was leaving. Did you have fun? She was literally just responding and was like, oh my gosh, I did. I just don't really remember the whole night. And I'm like, yeah, I saw you pooping outside of your car. Denied it, but when I looked at her Instagram, she was wearing the exact same outfit as the girl who was pooping outside of her car. So it's confirmed and definitely true that she was pooping at the concert. Anyways, I ended up quitting that job because they literally had cockroaches and rats and creepy chefs, and I was over it. This is a story time of the actual worst job I ever had in my entire life, and I've had 20 jobs, so that's saying something. When I get into it, you're gonna be like, is that even legal? And I'm gonna be like, I'd actually, no, it's probably not. I was 19, I moved out to the neighboring city from me to like pursue makeup, and this was called Syracuse. Syracuse, New York. The land of the brave, that's for sure. I got out there, I needed a job right away. Like I needed to pay rent, like I needed to get a job. So I was finding jobs everywhere. I was searching everywhere for a job and I couldn't really find anything. And then I came across this ad for like a Verizon employee. Pretty sure it was on Indeed, and it basically said like 16 an hour for like sales, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. My dumbass thought I was going to be selling phones, and I was like, okay, like I can sell a phone. I apply and I get called back for this interview, and the person on the other line is like, oh yeah, like come out to this part of Syracuse and we'll do an interview. And I'm thinking like, I'm going to the Verizon store, duh, that's what you'd think. This is definitely not my color when I spray tan, but whatever. Mind you, like I needed this job. I had no other option. I had to get something and I had to get in quick. So I go for this interview, and I put it in my maps because obviously I don't know my way around, and I pull up to the Verizon wireless and I'm like, I'm here. Because he told me to like let him know when I was there, which was weird to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Guys, like come across the street to the Dunkin', we'll do the interview here. In my brain, I'm like, what? This doesn't even make sense. Like, why am I going to a Dunkin' Donuts? The guy basically tells me, he's like, oh, we don't work at the Verizon store. We're like sales people that work outside of Verizon. So like we'll go to stores and events and try to sell Verizon. And I'm like, whatever, like I just need this job, so I don't even care. So I just basically, I'm like, yeah, sounds great. Sounds like so much fun. The story, he was being very misleading, and we actually sold Verizon Fios cable out of Walmart's. And mind you, I thought I was going to be like selling phone plans. That's exactly how he made it seem. And the whole time I'm selling cable inside of Walmart. I'm not too proud to work any type of job. Like if I need money, I'm going to work the job. So I was like, fine, I'll do this until I can find a job at like a Mac or something like that. When I tell you, this job was so humiliating. Like you would stand in Walmart and walk up to strangers and be like, who do you have for your cable company? And people would be just cursing me out all day. Like, I'm trying to shop. Like, get the out of my face. Like what? I literally was terrified of every day of work. So I started clocking in and saying I was at work when I actually wasn't, because fuck you. Like you didn't even tell me this is what I was going to be doing. This was like a subcontracting business that this guy had just started, and he was hiring me to earn commission. But instead of paying me my commission, he was paying me hourly of $8.75. And then if we hit like a quota, we would get paid some commission, but like not all of it. Because we didn't even have a home office, so we would do all our meetings like at a Dunkin'. But one day he finally got us a home office. There was like 4 employees and everyone was so weird. I was the only girl, so I got like very weird comments all the time. this manager of mine is like 55, and I don't understand how any of this works yet, so I'm thinking nothing of anything still. And every time I worked with him, he would tell me how I'm fat and I'm ugly and like make it seem like he's trying to be funny, but just blatantly calling me fat and ugly. Mind you, this man is bald, 4'11", and has a hernia in his stomach the size of planet Earth. Anyways, one day they call a meeting and they're like, come to the new home office. Like, we got an office, yay! Me being fucking dumb, I drive to this office that's on the other side of the city. The most embarrassing moment in my life was when I was in 4th grade and I decided to myself, like, yeah, I am Beyonce. Like, I'm going to be a professional singer. Like, duh. Obviously, since I was going to be in showbiz, I needed to sign up for the 4th grade talent show at my school, and I decided that I was going to sing The Climb by Miley Cyrus. Obviously, I'm not a one-trick pony, babe, so I also decided I needed to perform a step dance routine to the song Fergalicious. The night of the talent show, everything is going great. I have practiced both performances a whopping total of 5 times each. Found out that my mother wasn't going to be able to make it to my performance, but babe, the show must go on, right? Like, this is showbiz. I'm waiting for my turn, and there are kids performing with like actual talent. Then, to my absolute dismay, the girl that goes right before me decides to also sing The Climb by Miley Cyrus. Are you kidding me? Not only does she do that, but she gets a standing ovation, and she's amazing, right? It's my turn finally, and I walk past this girl and I'm like, little bitch stole my song. Like, ugh, I'm about to kill it. I get up on stage, I grab my little mic, I'm about to have my Hannah Montana moment. I start the song, and I forget every single lyric in the song. I get past the first verse of the song, and then after that, all I can remember is it's all about the climb. So I keep singing that lyric over and over and over again for 3 minutes straight, until the adults that are coordinating this whole thing finally tell me, like, come on, like, you gotta go. I was fucking humiliated. The whole crowd, without my mother in it, stands up and is clapping and screaming like, woo, like, you did so good. I am humiliated backstage, but remember, I have a Fergalicious step dance routine to do with my 3 best friends who are counting on me, so again, the show must go on. Step out on stage, and the whole crowd sees that I'm in the step dance routine, and they're screaming for me. And I'm just standing there like, yeah, like, they love me. Like, the people just love me. And then, like, something out of a fucking movie, every single one of us forgets our dance. Really? I don't know if you know anything about step dance, but you really can't forget a step because, like, a lot of noise is happening. Literally sounds like thunder is rumbling inside of this auditorium. Girl decided she was gonna improv ballet. I decided I was gonna pretend to throw a lasso at the crowd. Like, it was absolutely a mess. The song ends, the crowd's going wild. We go in the backstage and argue with each other about who forgot what first. After we're done, we're told we have to go sit in a seat in the auditorium so that we could watch the other people do their performances. As I'm walking to my seat, every person in the auditorium is trying to give me high fives and telling me how funny I am, and I was just like, it wasn't supposed to be funny. I ran home sobbing my eyes out, and I can't even tell you the things that I would do to see a video of that night. I literally didn't go to school the next day because of how embarrassed I was, so.
My mother-in-law is a stubborn, narcissist, and manipulative woman. She wants to have everything her way. And when things don't go her way, all hell will break loose. This is not my story, by the way. It was sent to me on Instagram. So, a little background story. I've been married to my husband for 10 years. And his mother has always been overbearing. I was not ready to give birth immediately we got married. I wanted to concentrate on my career for a few years. But this woman wanted grandchildren immediately. And even after telling her I was not ready, she kept insisting. She made sure she brought up childbirth in every conversation we had. When I couldn't take it anymore, I told my husband to tell her to back off. And she stopped only after my husband has asked her to. We used to stay in the same town. And because of that, she was always coming over to the house. And she doesn't even call to tell me she's coming. I'll just be in the house and she'll just appear out of nowhere. And I have no privacy at all when she's around. When I set boundaries, she doesn't respect them. I just couldn't take it anymore, so I told my husband about it. And we moved out of the town to another town, mainly because of her. Now, fast forward a couple of years later, I got pregnant. And when it was time for me to give birth, she told me she wanted to be in the delivery room with me. I should have said no, but I said yes, thinking she has changed. And I went through hell that day because of her. My husband had to work her out that day because of the pressure she was giving me. So I gave birth to a baby girl who is now 6 years old. My mother-in-law comes around to visit sometimes because she says she wants to see her grandchild. And we make sure she doesn't stay for more than a week because she's always causing constant drama. I got pregnant again, and when I got to 30 weeks, I had some complications with the baby, so I was always weak. My husband had to travel for work, and my mother lives in another country. My daughter had just vacated, and when my mother-in-law asked my daughter to come stay with her so that I can relax and rest, I had no other option than to say yes. Now, my daughter has very long natural hair. Her hair has never been cut since the day she was born. She loves her hair, and she receives compliments for it everywhere she goes. So I couldn't believe my eyes when my daughter came back from vacation with cropped hair. My mother-in-law has cut off all my daughter's hair. My daughter broke down into tears when she saw me. She said my mother-in-law had cut her hair because she had sent her on an errand and she had forgotten what my mother-in-law had asked her to buy. My mother-in-law said the hair is making her absent-minded. So she took her to the barbering shop that same day to cut everything off. Even though my daughter cried and pleaded with her not to, she didn't even ask for my permission. She just did it with her own power. This was the last straw. I called her and told her she would never see her granddaughter again, and she would never get to meet the new one. I warned her to stay away from my family. I guess she thought I was joking or playing around, so she came unannounced to the house one day, and I walked her out. Am I the asshole? This follower needs your opinions, babes. Please drop some below.
The bad guy for storming out of my baby shower after my boyfriend's family made me feel unwelcome. I'm 19 and currently 7 months pregnant with my first child. My boyfriend is 21 male and we're really excited. However, things didn't go as planned. Boyfriend's family is pretty traditional and they weren't too happy that we're having a baby out of wedlock. They've been pretty distant and cold towards us since the announcement, but I thought the baby shower would be a perfect chance for us to bond. Boy, was I wrong. The moment I arrived, my boyfriend's aunts made a snide comment about my age, how young mothers never knew what they're doing, and his brother asked if I was planning on getting a job after the baby was born. Things really came ahead when my boyfriend's mom gave me a gift bag that was filled with baby clothes, all pink. I said that we were having a boy. She goes, oh well, I just assumed since you're so young, you probably don't know the sex of your own baby. At that point I was done, made an announcement that I didn't feel welcome there and was leaving. My boyfriend tried to convince me to stay, but I was so upset. My boyfriend's family is calling me rude and ungrateful. I'm just really hurt they don't think I can care for my own child.